God bless. I want to give honor to God who is the head over my life. I hope each and every person is having a blessed day. I'm not going to go all in the book of Esther, but I'm going to read parts of it. Esther, in her role as Queen Esther, she dealt with drama, power, romance. This is stuff of which best-selling novels are made. But far from being a modern piece of fiction, the Book of Esther is a true story lived and written centuries ago. More than entertaining reading, it is a story of the profound interplay of God's sovereignty and human will. God prepared the place and the opportunity, and his people Esther and Malachi chose to act. The people of Esther began by describing the scene in which Queen Vashaz refused to obey an order from her husband. She was subsequently disposed, and the search began for a new queen. The king sent out to discreet, gathered all the beautiful young women in the empire, and brought them into the royal harem. Esther, a young Jewish woman, was one of those women. He was so pleased with Esther that he chose her to be a new queen. Meanwhile, Mordecai, Esther's older cousin, became a governor official, and during his Tincher Toll assassination plot by the ambition and self-serving Human was appointed second in command the empire. When Malachi refused to bow in reference to him, Haman became furious and determined to destroy Malachi and all the Jews along with him. To accomplish his vengeful deeds, Haman deceived the king and persuaded him to issue an indict condemning the Jews to death. Malachi told Queen Esther about the indict, and she decided to ask her life to save her people. She asked King and Haman to be her guest at a banquet. During the feast, the king asked Esther what she really wanted. He promised to give her whatever she asked for. She simply invited both to another banquet, and the next day, that night, unable to sleep, the king was reviewing some records in the royal archives, and when he read of the assassination plot that Mordecai had throttled, surprised to learn that Mordecai had never been rewarded for the deed. The king asked Haman what should be done to a property. A herald, thinking the king must have been talking about him. Haman described a lavish reward. The king agreed, but to Haman's shock, that utter humiliation, it turned out that Malachi was the person to be honored in this way. During the second banquet, the king again asked Esther what she desired. She replied that someone had plotted to destroy her and her people. And then she revealed Haman as the culprit. Immediately, the king sentenced Haman to die on the impaling pole that Haman had set up for Malachi. So in this, Esther was trying to save her people, okay? Her people from the hands of Haman. Because Haman was the corporate that was trying to destroy a nation. The only way that he could destroy a nation is having Esther look like a fool on a pole. Okay? But the plot that was supposed to be sent to Malachi, because Malachi was Esther's cousin, but he was also second in command to be a government official. Okay. So Haman thought, hey, if I can destroy Malachi, If I can destroy Esther, then I can destroy the people. Then the whole nation is mine. But see how when you sit back and you watch and you don't say nothing and you take the time to do the things that you need to do to relax and to just let God do his work. See, Haman got hung on his own pole. One thing you can't do, you can't play with God. Another thing you can't do, you cannot play with one of God's servants that he is called, that Jesus is leading to bring his people back to righteousness. These are two things you cannot play with. I don't care how much wealth you got. I don't care how much money you got. I would be the poorest person in the world before I sell my soul to Satan. I'd rather have my soul rested in the arms of the Lord than rested with Satan. But this is the thing about greed. This is the thing about money. Some people are willing to do anything for it. Some people are willing to tear down this person's character. Some people are willing to invade a person's privacy. Some people are willing to do anything for fortune. But the Lord said, while they were plotting and planning, that I saw it all and that I know it would fail. So this is the story of Esther, how Esther was trying to save her people from the wrath of Haman, because he was sent to destroy the people of God. But Esther was risking her life to save the people of God, being led by Jesus in order to do that. How many people can say that they would risk their life to save a nation? So this is the story of Queen Esther. I didn't read any verses. It's just a short version of what Queen Esther did and how she risked her life in order to save the nation from the attacks of Haman. God bless.